Now at 9, President Donald Trump is set to deliver the State of the Union address. Find out more on the president's upcoming speech.
And a pair of congressmen are set to participate in a rare bipartisan act. Find out the impacts.
Also, the United States is sending a dozen fighter jets to Israel. Learn more about the rising tension in the area.
Plus, an update on the search for Nancy Guthrie. Now, how an increased reward may bring in new information.
I've got the details on gusty winds tonight. This is NewsLink Indiana now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Tatum Harris.
And I'm Peyton Mucker. Tonight, President Donald Trump will deliver the 2026 State of the Union address to a joint session of Congress and to millions of Americans watching from home.
The speech comes on the heels of a Supreme Court decision that struck down a key piece of his economic agenda and foreign policy. Ivan Rodriguez joins us live from the nation's capital with the latest.
Tonight's State of the Union comes at a tumultuous political moment for President Trump.
It's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt previewed what Americans can expect to hear during the speech.
A large portion of the speech will, yes, focus on the economy. The president will lay out the case for why he and Republicans are better suited to continue tackling the affordability crisis that was created by the Biden administration and Democrats on Capitol Hill.
Last week, the conservative majority Supreme Court struck down Trump's emergency tariffs, a centerpiece of his economic agenda. Trump lashed back by using a different authority to announce a new global tariff, now at 15%. Congressional Democrats say he's out of touch with American voters, feeling squeezed in the current economy.
Americans, including myself, who will be in the chamber tonight, want the president to focus on lowering the costs. He promised day one, John, I'm going to bring down the costs. It's like day 410, he's 0 for 410.
With midterm elections looming in November, Republicans on Capitol Hill also have a lot at stake as the president lays out his goals for the year. New CNN polling conducted by SSRS finds 32% of Americans now say that Trump has had the right priorities, while 68% say he hasn't paid enough attention to the country's most important problems. That's the president's most negative reading on that question to date during either of his terms in office. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Additionally, in a rare show of bipartisanship, we will see a Democrat and Republican sit together during tonight's State of the Union address. Democratic Representative Ro Khanna of California and Kentucky GOP Congressman Thomas Massie will sit together for President Donald Trump's speech. Khanna and Massie led the effort to pass the law requiring the Department of Justice to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. Massie has continued to support the effort despite major pushback from his own party. The State of the Union started airing just minutes ago.
The United States is beefing up its military presence in the Middle East as tensions with Iran continue to escalate. The U.S. is sending a dozen stealth F-22 fighter jets to Israel. This is in addition to the dozens of military aircraft, tankers, and warships now positioned in the region. The military build-up in the Middle East is the largest since the start of the Iraq War in 2003. President Donald Trump has threatened to attack Iran if a deal on restricting the country's nuclear program isn't reached. The United States and Iran have held 2 rounds of talks to defuse the situation. A third round is expected to take place later this week.
The Guthrie family is offering $1 million for help getting their mother back. Today's show host Savannah Guthrie announced the reward on Instagram today. She has maintained hope that her mother is still alive since she vanished more than 3 weeks ago. That appears to be fading as Guthrie acknowledged the 84-year-old may be gone. Still, the family is offering the money for information leading to her location. The announcement comes amid new questions surrounding video of the masked man seen at Guthrie's doorstep the night of her disappearance. Now, a source says that video was actually taken on 2 different days. The Pima County Sheriff says that is purely speculative.
A Utah County prosecutor's office will be allowed to proceed with its death penalty case against the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk. Tyler Robinson's defense had claimed prosecutors mishandled a potential conflict of interest and sought to recuse the entire Utah County's attorney's office. But today, a judge rejected those claims, ruling a lead prosecutor's child being at the event when Kirk was killed did not influence the decisions in the case. Prosecutors said the child, a student at Utah Valley University, did not witness the shooting. Robinson faces a slew of charges, including murder, felony use of firearm, and obstruction of justice. His preliminary hearing is set to begin May 18th. Yes, and how about those warm weather we had last week?
I know, I'm missing it. I want to say to 68, maybe even higher, but
I know.
Now we're back pretty low, and I am not a fan of it so far.
I know, it was like super nice, and then that storm came in, and it was like, uh-oh, and now we're back to cold.
And now we're stuck with that wind too. Like,
I know.
Wind when it was nicer out, it was pretty nice, but now it's
not bad when it's 70 degrees,
yeah, now
right?
my hands hurt and my face hurts.
I know, we're gonna need gloves. All right, let's hear from weather about the forecast.
Yeah, along with those cold temps, if we're looking at some of our current temperatures, they're still in those cold temperatures. A lot of it hasn't also changed. We do have some warmer areas out to the west over here, 50 in St. Louis, but still not a lot is changing for our area, especially 39 in Indianapolis and 37 in Muncie. And still with those cold temperatures, not a lot is still going to be changing over the next 12 hours. We're going to have some warm spots of 40 degrees at 12 and 1 a.m., but ultimately leading back down into the mid-30s as we go towards those morning hours. In the upcoming, we're going to be looking over gusty winds, more wind chills, and increasing temperatures on the way next.
Thank you so much, Jonas. Dr. Casey Means is set to become the next U.S. Surgeon General. Means was scheduled to appear before a Senate committee last year, but went into labor with her first child. A confirmation hearing is now set for Wednesday on Capitol Hill. The physician-turned-wellness influencer has faced ongoing criticism surrounding her credentials and policy positions. The 38-year-old didn't complete her residency, and her medical license has lapsed. Means is expected to face questions about the agenda of her key ally, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Trump named Means his Surgeon General nominee last May after his first nominee suddenly withdrew, following questions about her credentials.
Coming up, President Trump's global tariffs are facing several setbacks. Find out more.
And the company behind popular weight loss drug Ozempic announced a drop in prices. We have the details.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Welcome back. the Trump administration's new global tariffs have started lower than President Donald Trump had vowed. Over the weekend, Trump announced the sweeping new tariffs would be set at 15%, quote, effective immediately, end quote. However, the president had already signed an official proclamation imposing the tariffs at a 10% level. A White House official said the plan is eventually to increase them to 15%, but there's no timeline yet for when Trump will sign a new order. The new global duties were announced after the Supreme Court invalidated Trump's widespread use of emergency tariff powers, which prompted him to begin implementing his trade strategy through other pathways.
Novo Nordisk is slashing the cost of its popular weight loss and diabetes drugs. The drug manufacturer says the list prices will be $675 a month beginning next year. That's about half the current list price of Wegovy and hundreds off for Ozempic and Rybelsus. The change is intended to benefit patients with high deductibles or those paying for coinsurance. Insured customers already have copays as low as $25 a month. The changes don't affect self-pay customers who have much lower rates.
Spirit Airlines, once at risk of shutting down, has reached a deal to stay in business. Today, the budget carrier said it reached an agreement with creditors to exit bankruptcy later this spring or early summer. The airline has filed for bankruptcy twice and struggled with losses since the pandemic reshaped travel demand. Under the deal, Spirit remains independent but much smaller. The airline has sold planes, cut staff, and will fly nearly 40% fewer flights this summer. Spirit's CEO said the carrier will emerge leaner and better positioned to compete on price. Spirit's low fares have pressured larger airlines like Delta and United to keep some cheaper seats available. Without Spirit, analysts say fares across the industry likely would have climbed.
AI company Anthropic says it keeps making its Claude products smarter. A new update is aimed at making Claude better at specific jobs like design, HR, and wealth management. It comes just a month after the company launched Claude Cowork that made Anthropic's coding tool better at things like financial and legal analysis. That's because it enabled Claude to live inside enterprise software tools instead of operating as a separate chatbot. Some Wall Street analysts are worried it could challenge existing enterprise products and lead to mass layoffs. Anthropic insists the updates are designed to make Claude more collaborative with workers. It also says Claude is not trying to replace any software tools.
A major competitor is getting a bigger piece of the AI market. Meta announced a new deal with Advanced Micro Devices worth billions of dollars. It allows Meta to buy semiconductor chips to develop AI and power data centers. Meta can also take financial stake of up to 10% of AMD. NVIDIA sells about 90% of the chips that power artificial intelligence, which helped make it the most valuable company in the world. NVIDIA's processors typically outperform their competitors, but they also are more expensive. OpenAI made a similar deal with AMD last year.
I'll be tracking increasing temperatures right after the break.
After his wife passed, my neighbor Larry started drinking a lot. He was in distress and acting out. He had guns around, and I didn't want anything bad to happen. I pressed pause. Our local authorities filed a firearm restraining order to temporarily remove the guns. It gave Larry the time he needed to get help. It wasn't easy, but we got through it together. Learn more at illinois.gov/pause to heal.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hello, welcome back. Taking a look at our Cooper Science Skycam right now. As you can see, it is pretty overcast, not a lot going on, pretty grungy outside. Along with those grungy temperatures, you see 37 degrees right now, also with 17-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the south-southwest. And taking a bigger look at some of our other current temperatures around the area, we have 39 in Indianapolis, 38 Lafayette, with some cooler spots up to the north here, 34 in Fort Wayne and 37 in Muncie. And if we take a little closer look to the Muncie area, we still see those same variable temperatures, 35 in Anderson, 35 Newcastle, with another kind of colder spot up to the northwest over here, 34 in Marion. A lot of that may seem pretty cold still, but it's actually a lot warmer than what we saw yesterday. If we look at if we take a look at some of these temp changes, 19 degrees in Lafayette, 17 degrees in Indianapolis. These are big changes that we're seeing from these temperatures that we had yesterday. Some minor changes, you see 10 degrees in Fort Wayne and 12 degrees in Muncie. And if you listen to me, we're going to be experiencing some more warm temperatures that we were able to experience in the past days. We're going to be seeing some mid-40 temperatures Wednesday and Thursday, and then we're going to see a really nice spike up to almost 60 degrees on Friday, still with those same temperatures, kind of around the high 50s area on Saturday, and then unfortunately dropping back down to those cold temperatures on Sunday going into the next week. And a lot of that is due to these wind gusts. If we take a look at some of these wind gusts here, this is currently going to be at 11:30 p.m. tonight. As you see, we almost have 40-mile-an-hour gusts right here. This is Winchester, and still mid-30s in Muncie. And a lot of those gusts are still going to be gusting through the night, but then we're going to lose them as we move into the rest of the week. And going to look at our 500 millibar map, as you see up here, a lot of those cold colors are still staying at the top of the map. But if we kind of take a more advanced look into the later in the week, we see some of these warmer colors start bumping their way up towards Indiana, which is still going to start giving you that warm weather that we want. Tonight, we have a low of 31 degrees right now. Still going to stay pretty cloudy throughout the night and still going to keep those kind of high gusts at 20 miles an hour coming out of the southwest. And going towards tomorrow, we're still going to see 33 degrees at 8 a.m., 40 degrees at 12 p.m., and 42 at 5 p.m. And then throughout the day, once we get to the afternoon hours, that sun is going to start peaking out and still having those winds in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range coming out of the west. And then as we start tracking the next 7 days, again, we see those 45, 46 Wednesday and Thursday, and that big spike on Friday that's going to give us those warm temperatures on starting our weekend. And then as we move through our weekend into the next week, those temperatures are going to start to lower back down. That's a lot of cold temperatures, but it's gonna start getting warm.
I'm so glad. It's nice to hear that right before we're going on spring break, we're going to have a little bit of nice weather to kind of finish out this this hard week of midterms we've got going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Aiden McNally has a preview of our sports.
Thanks, Peyton and Tatum. Find out how these Winter Olympics fared in viewership and how Delaware County is continuing their Olympic Games in its community. All this and more next in sports.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing we do to keep us focused.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game?
To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health.
Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need to keep your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Make moves, set up goals, Don't worry about a setback. Just save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things. This is pre-tirement.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Aiden McNally with sports. The Olympic drama in Italy sucked in viewers this year. NBC is reporting it averaged about 23.5 million viewers for this year's Winter Games. That's the biggest number since 2014 and nearly double the audience for the last Winter Olympics in 2022. It's also an aggregate number that includes views from Peacock, CNBC, and the USA Network. The Games helped the Peacock streaming service see its best month ever. Putting the gloves on, two legends of boxing are ready to step back into the ring in a rematch for the ages. Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao plan to step back into the ring together. The boxers are set to fight on September 19th at the Las Vegas Sphere, with Netflix streaming the bout live. The fight is a rematch of the pair's record-setting 2015 matchup. Mayweather won that fight, but Pacquiao has fought more professionally in recent years. Although the Olympics are over, the Special Olympics of Delaware County are still playing year-round. NewsLink Indiana's Amelia Winter went to the court to find out more about the program's impact in the community.
Special Olympics Indiana transforms lives through the power of sports by breaking down barriers for individuals with intellectual disabilities. For Delaware County, their basketball season is well underway, but CEO Jeff Mueller says the games are just one part of their mission.
The thing that we try to do in Special Olympics, though, is empower our athletes to be able to go out there and voice their own concerns, speak on their own behalf, and don't need me to do that.
The impact extends beyond the court. According to Special Olympics Indiana, more than 20,000 athletes are enrolled in the program. And for players like Joshua Dudden, every game is more than just basketball.
Pretty much since my daughter died, because I was in the dump and everything else, it brought me back and everything, so.
Dudden has been playing with the Delaware County Cardinals for 2 years, and he says that basketball isn't just about points, it's about teamwork.
Teamwork is when you actually have to trust on other people on your team, or else it's not going to work out. If you don't trust them, to pass it to the person that they're closer enough.
And according to Coach Barb Cox, the team's strength comes from each other.
Yes, they have a disability, but everybody has something that makes them unique. All of these guys try their best and their hardest, and they just want to be involved.
Cox and the Delaware County Cardinals hope to keep their momentum going throughout the rest of their season. In Muncie, Amelia Winter, NewsLink, Indiana.
To find a program near you, visit soindiana.org. From the ring to the mats, one Ball State gymnast has won a weekly conference honor. All-around gymnast Zoe Middleton has been awarded MAC Gymnast of the Week. This honor comes after Middleton boasted the best all-around score in the Cardinals matchup against Western Michigan earlier this week. Middleton also tied for the individual title on vault in that same dual meet. The senior has become familiar with the success as she won MAC Specialist of the Week earlier this season. Middleton also holds 2 program records for Ball State, with one record being a perfect score on the bars and set in 2024. The gymnast also ranks second in the MAC in national qualifying score with a 38.860. Ball State Gymnastics will return to the mat this Friday, where they will compete in the Pittsburgh Quad. Keeping things on campus, Ball State men's basketball faced UMass tonight at home. After the buzzer beater, the Cardinals would go on to win in overtime by just 1 point. After coming back from an 18-point deficit, this would mark the largest comeback win from the Cards this season. The Cards would lead in scoring by Davion Hill, who boasted 26 points with 4 rebounds. Fans only have one more chance to catch the Cards at home this season on March 6 versus Central Michigan. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of upset the Olympics are over. You know, it's not only about the sports, but also about the unity, bringing everyone together. That's what I love about it most.
I unfortunately have a guilty confession. I have not been keeping up with it. I love seeing the clips, and it looks always awesome, and like, I could never do such a thing, but yeah, I have not been keeping up, and I feel terrible for it.
I've been keeping up with the figure skating. It was really cool to see some gold medalists from the U.S.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so coming up after this break, a landmark from popular show Heated Rivalry is now available to book.
And Jonas has one final look at your upcoming weather. Stay with us.
My son Ricky took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me in ways that I never knew that I could be broken. And I contemplated suicide. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe. Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over.
Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Fans of the hit show Heated Rivalry will soon be able to stay at one of their favorite filming locations. The house where Shane and Ilya had their secret retreat during the final episode will be available on Airbnb starting March 3rd. Fans will be able to experience the Barlow Chen Cottage in Ontario, Canada. The cottage sits on the western shore of Lake Muskoka and has a private waterfront, kayaks, canoes, and a fire pit outside. The rental cost comes out to about $181 American per night. Heated Rivalry debuted November 28th on HBO Max. The Canadian show based averaged 9 million viewers per episode in the U.S. Now, I have to say, it's probably a lot colder in Canada than it is here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hear a little bit more about the weather. I hope it doesn't get as cold.
Yeah, sounds good. So looking back to our 7-day, we still have those mid-40s temps still lingering out through the rest of the week, and then we're still going to have that big spike up to almost 60 degrees on Friday, still with those warmer temps on Saturday, and then we're going to work our way back down, back into the mid-30s with a little upbringing of temperatures on Tuesday and a possibility of some freezing rain.
Well, thank you so much for that forecast.
Absolutely.
That's all for tonight on NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page, YouTube channel, and WCRD 91.3.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to cardinalmediabsu.com. Have a great night and stay safe.